And joining me right now is a familiar face, not as good looking as the face that's on your screen right now. We got this ongoing poll that's been happening for the last 12, 13 years. It's none other than my brother from another mother, coming in from the beautiful city of Mississauga, Ontario, Mr. Simeon Papailias. How excited are you that this is the first ever REC marketplace and we have hundreds of people now watching us live?
I couldn't be more proud of our team. I couldn't be more proud of, and I don't like to say these things in public, of you for the work. Exactly. It won't happen again. Don't worry. Don't worry. Never again.
Yeah. Hey, good thing we're recording this. Hey, Seamus, good thing we're recording.
You're going to play it for me every morning, are you?
Every morning, I'm just going to send you a voice note of what you just said, buddy.
Listen, a lot of work goes into these things to organize. And today, literally, I was on the golf course with some of our biggest strategic partners. And we had the opportunity. I had the opportunity to meet with the Minister of Long-Term Care, the Minister of Mental Health. We are taking a step in our business, Jazz. I'm sharing this with our REC insiders because they're going to be watching our journey to get into the retirement space. And the retirement space is single-handedly the biggest worry of government right now, because there is a massive generation, the country's biggest generation in population, aging, and infrastructure, just like housing, is an extremely short supply, meaning that long waiting lists for people to get into retirement facilities, long waiting lists for people to get the care that they feel they need and or deserve, especially modern state-of-the-art places. So with that being said, it's not a coincidence I was golfing with those people today. It took a lot of planning. It's just coincidence that it's happening at the heels of our launch of this commercial project. But we made a lot of headway today with knowledge and intimate knowledge of what the government is doing, especially if there is if the same people are re-elected in these ridings. They have ongoing efforts that are going to come into fruition. So it's just, there's so much exciting stuff.
Let's get right into it, brother. I mean, let's
get right into it.
Yeah. So what is the opportunity?
We're trying to stay within a time limit too. So.
Well, here's the cool thing. I said before you came on, I didn't thank you either. Like I thanked the whole team because I knew you were going to be coming on with me. So thank you for coming on, obviously, brother. But I also mentioned that the coolest thing about this opportunity is that we control all the inventory. It's really, really cool. Like where the first opportunity, we only have select amount of units and we have to play with Charles and the builder. And they do a great job with us because we have so much experience and a very positive, a track history with them. Here it's slightly different in the favor of our investors because we hold all the inventory. And obviously, just like I was speaking to Charles about Cielo, there is a reason why you want to get in early, because we're also going to be increasing the pricing as we go along. But to everyone today, they're going to get the opportunity to get into first access. And not only that, because you mentioned the time, I don't want anybody to worry. Because you're actually going to be sitting down with CMOS later, after if you put in a reservation form, and he's going to go through all the numbers and he's going to go through all the performance. But at a high level right now, brother, what is this opportunity for our investors?
I'm going to try to really stick to the points. Maybe we'll elaborate on a few. So here we go. First and foremost, the listing, the exclusive listing of this commercial opportunity. For those who don't know, my practice as a broker is in commercial real estate. So I source sites for builders, I sell plazas. This is what I do for a living. So
can you sit a little closer? Simos, I want you to sit a little bit closer to the mic.
Perfect. So just to be super clear with our REC Nation, because they see us doing retail investments to investors, but not everyone knows the behind the scenes. I am a commercial broker. I do specialize in analysis and due diligence. So we do a lot of consulting in that sector as well for developers that are building and need comparables, etc. This specific group is led by Trisect Construction. They're based out of Mississauga. Trisect is, and they're one of two construction groups in the entire province that are warranted and are able to work with the Toronto Port Authority. That's how high grade their bond and their operation is. So they work in the airport, the ports, and they've built a lot of commercial. They've done hospitals. They've done a lot of government infrastructure. Something that a lot of people would know that they've built is the Ritz-Carlton downtown. They did the entire retail up to the 11th floor where the condos started. So they built all that. So they're extremely well capitalized. They're extremely well versed and very connected, which is, again, just like Collective that we're talking about earlier. And great job to Charles on trying to bring that opportunity around. The track record of the people involved is probably the biggest piece of the due diligence. Who's involved? So Trisect and their CEO, Tom Butkovich, which he's extremely humble, approachable, and if you do get involved in this investment, there's no doubt that you will be seeing him or meeting him at some point because he's that type of guy. He's a very hands-on, involved CEO, and he runs a great ship. The property is located on James Street North in Hamilton. Hamilton, for those outside the province, is a population of over 500. They're approaching 700 to 800 during the day, just over 600,000 at this point, call it home. So it's a big city. Because we live in Toronto, we always think of Hamilton as a smaller outside of Toronto. But for the rest of the country, it's as big, just a little under what Calgary is, to put it into perspective. So Hamilton is huge. Hamilton's population is growing significantly because of Toronto's boom. The market there has skyrocketed. In the last decade, they went from $260,000 average price to just over $700,000 average price for a home today. So this isn't information that we're making up. Anybody wants to go to Google and put in CMHC, which is the Canada Mortgage Housing Corporation, you're going to be able to validate every piece of information that I use to do the due diligence. So in 10 years, it has gone 300%. Understand that. Over the next 15 years, they're going to see another 20% increase in population. Massive.
Well, as Toronto, as we get people here coming into Toronto, you start to look to the outskirts, right? You start to look to places where you can qualify more, and Hamilton's always.
But you're using the word
right?
Outskirts because you're from Toronto.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I agree.
But I'm living this development right now because it's literally taken over my life.
Yeah.
And I almost feel bad for always thinking of Hamilton as an outskirt. It's its own economy. This is Steel Town. Like it has an entire infrastructure and engine around it. And I'll get into that next. So what we're talking about, and why I mentioned the population of 20% increase, that's not the wow factor. The wow factor and what makes tonight white hot is the fact that the population of seniors in Hamilton over the next 10 years, not 15 years that I mentioned earlier, is going to grow by 100%. So in the next 10 years, the senior population of Hamilton is estimated to grow by 100%. Why? Because people in Toronto that are selling their $2 and $3 million home are cashing out and going to Hamilton, to Niagara region, to that West Corridor. Excuse me one second. To that West Corridor where they're paying cash for their purchase and living the retirement of their dreams in arguably one of the best and most beautiful places in the country. Hamilton has all the infrastructure, universities, hospitals, everything you could imagine, times two, with colleges and campuses and everything else. So people are loving the West Corridor. Enter Pier 8, which is the old harbor going in on the north side of Hamilton. Okay? Pier 8 is slated, not pie in the sky, developed, the roads are in, the buildings are gone, sidewalks have been built, anybody can go walk it. 1,500 doors are going into Pier 8 over the next 4 years. So in June of next year, whoever's going to come into REC Marketplace is going to be hearing the condo opportunities there. What you're going to hear about tonight is the very first commercial infrastructure project in the West Harbour at Pier 8 in Hamilton, which is a retirement home.
Okay, so how does this investment work, Simo?
So we have the total inventory is 135 units.
Okay.
The builder is holding back 40% of the inventory for themselves. The actual builder, Tom and company, are holding back 40% of the inventory. I have 85 units, of which 70 are committed to our group specifically. So the people here tonight are going to be able to participate in the absolute first moment of this inventory hitting the market.
I love it. So very similar to the strategy at Cielo, which was get in first access, because as the builder and yourself start to negotiate and the builder wants to increase pricing depending on sales, getting in early and in the absolute first access is what this strategy is all about. But this investment is slightly different than Cielo, because with Cielo, we're going to be renting it out for our insiders, and we're going to be renting it out to either students at UFT or tenants that work downtown Toronto. This investment in Hamilton, and it is called Harbor Life. You will be able to get all the access, and I'm going to be speaking about that at the end of the marketplace. How does the rental aspect of this investment work, Simos?
Yeah, so it doesn't get any more turnkey. So basically, these are commercial condominiums. The builder is coming out of the gate to sell 60% of the inventory. And they're going to do it immediately. We're going to sell this out within 30 days so they can get their financing and start building. The old building is being already demolished. So they're it's 135 units, not 400 units downtown. So they're actually self-funding the initial portion because they can. But typically they would have to sell 60% before they get financed to do these things. Now, the difference here, this is a commercial condominium. We already know it's going to be a retirement home. We already know who the operator is going to be. We have already signed a lease with the said operator, which is Grandview Consulting, biggest consultant in retirement home space in Ontario. 2 of their members are sitting on the board of ORCA, which is the Ontario Retirement Community Association, etc. So extremely fluid, knowledgeable, and experienced in the space. So that's your tenant. So it's like me buying the corner of whatever and doing a deal with Timmy's before I even build it. Precisely the same. So understand what your lease is. What is it you're buying? You're buying one of the rooms of the retirement home. Suites range between 400 and 800 square feet. So you're buying a unit in a retirement home. The deposit structure is over 2 years. It's going to be built over 2.5 years, 2 years to 2.5 years. So your deposits are going to be very flexible and throughout that period. The play here is not to buy and hold. The play here is to buy, close, and get out. Why do I say that? Once the building is complete and registered, it's going to be leased and stabilized. I have already had a million discussions. I am already in possession of a letter of intent, a binding letter of intent from the operator that within 1 year of you closing on this, they're going to be preparing an offer to you, an optional offer. You want to stay and hold it forever, you go right ahead. The cash flow is that your lease is literally created to just carry your mortgage because you don't have any other expenses. This is a commercial triple net lease. For those who don't know what that is, in commercial real estate, the reason all the big guys and the REITs like commercial real estate is the taxes, the maintenance, the insurance, the condo fees, everything is covered by the tenant. So your retirement home operator is paying all those. You're paying nothing. You're paying a mortgage. If you use cash, you're paying nothing, and you're pocketing that payment. So the lease amount that's pre-negotiated is exactly enough to cover a commercial mortgage. So they're making sure that day one you're cash flow positive, but you're not cash flow positive insane amounts. They want
150, $200 kind of a month.
That's right. Up to 400 or 500, 700 if you buy one of the big ones. So the more you buy, the better that cash flow is. But the percentage of the return is the same. So whether you buy a small one or a big one, the return is the same. But if you have more money, you're going to make more money. If you have less money, but you can get into an investment and make the same return as somebody with more money. The amazing part of this is that you know that they're going to buy you out as a fact. And you know how much you're going to get bought out for.
And that's why we're calling this the opportunity that comes with a predetermined exit strategy. As Simos mentioned, this is not really to buy it and hold it forever, which we're big believers of.
But Cielo is
100%. And the third opportunity we're going to be speaking about has an element to that, but this one is different. This is, you get in now, you let it build.
The difference is simple. We don't like one better than the other. The difference is one is for one type of investor, the other is for the other type. So Cielo, exactly what Charlie quote Charles. Charles said, this is for those who have a genuine belief that Toronto will keep marching. And not only are we believers of Toronto keep marching, there's thousands or millions of us. So if you believe that Toronto is going to keep growing at the rate that it has, Cielo is a tremendous purchase for you. Why? Because the equity is going to be massive. Hamilton, the one that I'm telling you right now is an incredible opportunity, is for those who've already bought 4 or 5 condos and are looking for stability, meaning the chances of you not making 40% over the next 4 years, which the aggregate amounts to about 18% a year, let's say, is slim. I'm not going to say slim to none. I'll never use stupid words. But I will say it's the most stable a real estate investment can possibly be. It will be the most boring investment you will ever make, but it's by far, you have control of almost everything. The only thing
who your tenant's going to be
is who lays the bricks.
Exactly.
No,
and
you know the lease, you know the builder, you know the timeline, you have everything. So everything is pre-negotiated, no surprises, no nonsense. No HST refunds. Like commercial is different. It's cleaner. So because I live in that space. So if you are looking to diversify your portfolio, if you're looking for a stable investment over the next, the timeline is 3 to 4 years, you'll be out, depending on how quickly they build. They don't anticipate any delays because they have their own crews. They're not relying on GCs. So it's their own.
What's the purchase prices? I want you to mention the purchase prices, brother.
$389 to $699.
So anywhere from, call it $390 over to $690.
$700.
So I apologize, to $700. That's the price point. The deposit structures, because it's commercial. Can we do it with 20% down? Do we have to do it 25% down? Where are we at there?
It's 25%, but the last 5% for everyone to know is due on closing. So a lot of you are not going to need the 5% on closing because you're going to either finance it yourself or your mortgage, you have better credit. Hamilton is a very financeable location.
Yeah.
But we are saying 25% because it is commercial.
Yep.
It is a commercial condominium. So 25% is a requirement. But a lot of you or most of you are more than likely only going to have to put down 20% depending on your finance package.
Just like Cielo, I'm going to let you know where you can get the full package for Harbor Life, the project that Simos just spoke about in Hamilton. After we're done, the third opportunity, but all the performers are built, the floor plans are built, your ability to put in a reservation form all goes down in the next 15 to 18 minutes on the first ever REC Investor Marketplace. If you guys can't feel the passion coming through this screen and that beautiful bald head with the smile on the face, I don't know what's going on. It's a Friday night here in Toronto, and we're bringing 3 opportunities to you, Simos.
I'm honestly in the greatest mood ever. I've had a tremendous
Sure, you were on the golf course day all day today, brother.
I've had a tremendous day. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm in a really, really good place right now. And it's just such amazing things came out of that. And now this, like literally over 260 people at this point are watching. So we couldn't be more privileged to have such an amazing and loyal inside network to go over these things with. So just for me to sign off, Jazzy, my commitment to our insiders, like I'm not a guest here. This is my house. So I will tell every single one of you, I don't care if it takes a week or 2 weeks. If every single one of you needs to sit down and have a 30-minute chat, a 45-minute chat, a 3-hour chat. We've been doing this for a decade. Having these chats more with every one of you. Every one of you have come through a REAP, a real estate action plan. Not one of you has not had one. So I will do it again and again and again. And the reason is we respect our relationship. I don't want anybody to buy anything ever from the marketplace if we don't all believe that it's the exact right thing for you. So take the time you need, go through all the assets that Jazz is going to share. But if you need to set up a time to chat about, if you're confident in it, by all means, go ahead. But if you have one tiny little question, it needs to be answered. And my commitment is, it's obviously very busy right this second, but we are going to get through because we're very busy helping people like you. That's what's making us busy. So
love it, buddy.
Please don't ever think you're bothering us. If I ever hear that again, it's disappointing to hear. We're here for you. Please reach out.
It's what keeps the lights on. Always bother us. It's what keeps the lights on. I couldn't have said it any better, brother. Thank you. And I'll let everyone know how, if you choose to get information on Harbor Life in Hamilton, you're going to be dealing directly with Simos, as well as his right-hand guy, starting to become his left-hand guy and right-hand guy, Mr. Bobby Pume, Director of Operations here at REC Canada. Big shout out to Bobby Pume as well. All right, Simos, I'll see you later, brother. Everyone, you will be seeing us together next Saturday, not tomorrow, next Saturday on our brunch with REC Live on Facebook. You'll see us together. I'm going to come off. Good evening, REC Nation. Enjoy the rest of the show. I'll be watching in the back. Take care.